Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Christine Aykac, and today I'm going to talk about some other dimensions of DevOps coaching. If you are working or if you are a DevOps coach, you should be focusing on. The reason for this is that you may know that we are in the midst of the fourth industrial revolution, also called the digital revolution, that has been conquering since the middle of the last century. Up to now, inventions were in linear, something leads to something, but now electronics and information technology speeding up other inventions in every direction. You see, it's not going in the one way, 1700, the steam engine, the 1800, the electrical power, and so on. Now you hear the inventions every day. What is driving those changes? Automation, of course, the high-speed mobile internet everywhere. As like today, I am in, North America, and you guys are in all over the world. It is quite different to compare to the, 20, 30 years ago. Of course, the artificial intelligence and widespread adoption of big data analytics. We are analyzing everything, and the cloud technology, of course, and the robotics processes and so forth. Okay. And they are expecting that all these innovations will actually dominate the 2020s, which we are in now, and 2030s periods, as that drivers positively affecting the business growth. You see, for this, that's why we have to analyze why today's transformations represent not only the continuation of the third industrial revolution, but rather the arrival of distinct one. Because velocity, scope, and systems impact becomes as much crucial for this change. Oops. Sorry about that. During this transformation, as DevOps coaches, we have a bigger role to play, I believe, because I am doing this role, and we cannot just concentrate on one dimension, the technology. This is I found, as everyone is concentrated on the technology. We have to consider the organizations and teams' performance, as well as how team members, executives, and leaders are coping with the change. We, as a DevOps coaches, need to wear different hats. That's, I believe, that's we are going to talk. So let's set the base. As a DevOps coach, first of all, it shouldn't be challenging for you, dealing with the changing environments, adapting to complex systems. Of course, the delivering results, dealing with the challenging circumstances should be part of, your works. Stop. Sorry about. Continuous learning, we will discuss more about it. It is much more important. As you see, in the end, it all comes to people and values. We need to shape a future that works for all of us by putting people first and empowering them. In its most pessimistic, dehumanized form, the fourth industrial revolution may indeed have the potential to robotize humanity. But it deprives us of our heart and soul, because at the end, it is not going to resolve everything. We cannot robotize everything. But we can bring to more humanity on this, with creativity, empathy, and stewardship. This will help us to actually do people or whoever coaching to will help us to improve. That's why I believe we, as DevOps coaches, must evolve as one of the leadership roles in this context. We need to possess an active leadership, sponsorship, and advocacy to set the tone, cascade our convictions. You see, DevOps is more than a technology, as I mentioned. It's not just infrastructure or automation initiatives. Let's be clear on this. It starts with establishing clarity of purpose by mapping the impact on customer-related business goals. See, that is important. I was chatting with someone yesterday, and they said, no, their scope is actually the data analytics. You see, you have to look at it. You cannot automate everything, But that's why, as a coach, when you start to involve this kind of with the teams, you have to clarify. That's why, and also works with the teams to transition them to a high performing teams. But understand that, when you started, even they might call themselves as a team, it might be just group of people. You have to take the group of people first to become a team, and then you can move to the high performing this team. That's why it is important as a coach us to be self-sufficient, and also the leading position for the DevOps journey. We need to enable the individuals with the appropriate skills as well as technology tools and processes, also important for successful transition. Okay. Now, if we agree on these are the basic role of DevOps coaches, let's move on to see how we can improve. Now, if you are dealing with the DevOps, you are familiar with the 3 ways of DevOps. Or if you read the Phoenix books or the DevOps handbooks, you will see. I like this approach very much. And believe it or not, I use for everything. It's not just for the coaching, but when I am teaching. Because it's very simple and it makes you to think about it, how we can make it better. Because the first way is whatever I am doing, even the preparing for this presentation, I am looking as a holistic whole picture. Understand the DevOps and cloud days, their principles, their where they are standing, and so on. That's when you start to work as a DevOps coach, you have to do this. You have to understand the power skills, what is available, how they are collaborating, what are the application, who are the advocacies, or how you can do this, or the content, what is the business model and the structure, hierarchical structure, the organization in where you are in. You have to look at the holistically. We have to get rid of this horse glasses, we call it. Just look at it what you have. As a DevOps coach, we have to broaden our approach. We have to look at this. And then, of course, feedback loops. You see, this is also another good thing. I love retrospectives, but for me, it's retrospective is the assessment. Those you do the certain times, but the feedback loops is the continuous. There is no time frame. You can receive the feedback anytime. You can provide the feedback anytime, but you may need to teach this to your team. You have to establish these principles. You have to set up to how the feedback loops works, how you can check it, and you may need to ask oftenly until the team gets used to provide feedback, and importance of the feedback, because team needs to understand how they can also visualize the concept, seen in big picture. You see, because otherwise the feedback will be strict to the whatever they are doing, which it may not represent the whole picture. All right, but that's why you can apply this. Even when you are learning something, you can apply this, you see, because when you provide the feedback, you learn better. And then, of course, the continual experimentation. Remember, continuous to learning. I mean, as a coach, try different ways to coach. Try, switch your hats, or switch between mentoring, facilitating, coaching, teaching, or consulting if needed. But you need to be aware of this stuff. What it means being a mentor, what it means, when you are facilitating, then you can switch the heads, depends on the team needs. And of course, collaboration with the team is important. You see, this is approach I recommend to coaches to, follow, and also to teach team to follow. But you may say, is it enough? It is not enough. As you can see, you may say, I already know the technology very well. I am good on the technical skills. Now all these soft skills, the emotionally intelligent, and then learning new models and approaches. You may feel like it's too much, but unfortunately, that's why I started with the fourth industrial revolution explanation, because the time is changed. what we learned 30 years ago, it is not important anymore, depending on the context, of course. If you are an accountant, it's 500 years, same as the debit and credit. But within technology, business environment, everything is changing. And if you attend my yesterday's presentation, I said that because I found it's quite interesting. Full stack developer now, we're all looking for full stack developers, and actually just less than 10 years ago, that the people organization, I think 2008 or the 2010, this term become live. After 2013, actually people start to look for the full stack developers. See, that's what I'm saying. We don't know what will happen 10 years later. Forget 10 years. You don't know what will happen 5 years later. And that's why what you have to do, you have to adopt some other skills. One is the strategic mindset, I call it. And, of course, there are a bunch of other concepts and ideas you should have in your mindset, but 3 is the core here. Change. As I said, yes, it is your role, but it's important to continuously meet changing needs and adjust yourself to the changing environment. Because also, and we should stop saying, like what you did in the other organization, it really doesn't matter. Because the organization structure, the people, resources, the tools, technologies are different than this organization. Even if it is the same tool, same structure, and so, you may say this is the same manufacturing, they just a car, different, same financial institutions, is everything the same? And so, no, because the people are different. That's why you cannot apply the same model approach you were using in other organization to new organization. You have to adjust yourself to the changing environment. Agility, agility is not just change. That's why also it's keep in mind, agility is ability to move and adapt quickly, you see, because the time is passing and it's, as you know, it's going so fast. The next day there will be new invention. Today is the, coach position is important. Yes, most of organizations looking, believe me, 10 years ago, no one was asking for the coach other than the sport coaching, but this is the agility. Decisively supporting changes is the key, and quickly. It means you should be able to make quick decisions. And of course, resilience. It means you have to be able to stand up. You have to, when you get to negativeness and all this different things is happening, you have to be resilient. All right. I call this strategic mindset. You can call it whatever you want. But I think in this fast changing world of business, it is important that, everything is transforming, not just the coaches. All right. And that's why as a coach, we cannot stand behind while everything is moving further with us. A cultural shift within businesses to adapt more quickly to change, coupled with desire from, all around you, the team, the transformation leaders, stakeholders, executive, to see faster and more effective results is important. And that's why the technology is important, but people need to come first, I believe. All right. Now, oh my goodness. All right. DevOps coach, continuous learning is the key. Collective thinking, elaborative interrogation, distributed practices. Is when you are learning, keep in this mind, okay? Continuous learning is important. And from now on, I move into the network room. If you join me there, I will share my presentation. Don't worry about it, because let's look at it. And then the last one, not the least one, but is the team collaboration. All stakeholders, teams adapt and adjust their goals, individual goals to shared goal, okay? Transparent, open, honest communication, constructive feedback is important. As a coach, we have to work as a collaborative people. And decision making, agile decision making. But that's why it is not standard. It applies to everything: the leadership, the collaboration, innovation, trust, visualization, and so on. I recommend you to look at the decision-making models, the processes. And it comes to the standard divergent and convergent thinking. You open your mind first and gather all this information, and you get into the box, convert your all ideas to get the result. This is important. That's my actually couple cents here. I think I'm out of my time. It shows the almost 16 minutes right now. That's why if you have any questions, please follow me to the networking room. I will stop sharing. And if you need anything, that's why I can answer the questions. And there is information about me, how you can reach out to me. Connect me on LinkedIn, and also our company is our partners, and so it's here, and we have some freebies if you follow me. All right, and the references I use for this presentation. Thank you very much.